there's a reason that John Lynch may or may not have been a little perturbed. Jimmy Garoppolo really had his worst game in a while. 2 picks, could have been 3. Also missed a wide open use check for a touchdown. And then during the game, you could see him on the sideline doing his typical, kind of vacant smiling act. And then after the game, he did what he normally does and says we a lot and says that we need to play better. And it wasn't just one person, and which some people interpret as leadership and other people interpret as not taking accountability. How do you interpret it?
Yeah, so what he said was not fully accountable, but I was also watching his body language. He looked nervous at the podium to me.
Right.
He absolutely looked like he had been called into the principal's office. That jittery thing where he kept looking to the side, or like he would make eye contact with the reporter and look away constantly, look away back and forth. Yeah. He really looked like, what do you want me to say? I sucked.
Yeah.
Like I honestly don't think that
we want you to say that.
It's not his fault. I think Jimmy doesn't think it's his fault. Some of the things he said, in particular, he calls out 2 plays. He calls out the Kittle route into the end zone. Now, when I first watched that play, I felt that it was, from what I have read, Kittle did run his route. However, I don't like the route to begin with because Kittle is much bigger and stronger than the back that was covering him. So I don't understand why he didn't just post and block the dude. Just box him out. That's what a tight end is supposed to do in the end zone. It was a stupid route, to be honest with you. It should never have competed.
Why are you running past the cornerback in the end zone? Yeah.
Right. But the point is, when a dude is sitting there, I don't even know what to call that. It's not trail coverage. It's standing coverage. He was just sitting there, completely beaten by Kittle to the back of the end zone or out in front of Kittle. And Jimmy just drilled the dude right in the face, basically. So it's no wonder he intercepted it. So to me, that's a lack of vision. But the way that Jimmy just came up, scanned, and then just threw the ball, it was obviously supposed to be a timing play, which is typical of Jimmy. He doesn't anticipate well. You have to design plays where he doesn't have to think because he's not good at thinking. The way he called that out, as far as I was expecting George to do this and everything. It's one of those things. I go back to everything I always say about my experience in the military. Doesn't matter if it's your sailors and Marines' fault. As the officer in charge, it's your fault. That's your privilege for being in command, and it's the curse. And it's not he shouldn't always. If I'm a player, always lie to the media. Always say it's your fault. Never ever say it's someone else's fault. That's his mistake with the Kittle routes.
You're supposed to be your biggest critic, right? Jimmy isn't. Jimmy is like his fans. He's always looking for his side of the story. And so, when he throws an interception, his attitude is always, there's a whole offense involved, and he didn't run the right route, and there was pressure, and I had an excuse, and it was actually his fault. And I think that's how his fans look, and I don't like it. To me, you could say that. You say that to your teammates behind closed doors in meetings, but to the press, all you do is you go out and say, I lost the game. My teammates played hard. I can't turn the ball over. Isn't that what Baker Mayfield did yesterday? He threw 4 picks. It was
Baker
bad.
always does that. His statement is always, it's on me. I have to play better.
Yeah.
It always is. That's the one thing I really love about Baker Mayfield. He's a very blue collar style quarterback. He's one of the men, essentially. He doesn't look on himself as better. He looks on himself as an O-lineman sometimes, just the humility of the position. That's the way that a quarterback should approach the game. The other route, the other thing. Now here's the negative of Jimmy's presser. I did not like the way I feel he completely blamed Brandon Ayuk for that failed conversion.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, I recognize this as a division commander. When it's someone's fault and they do this humble act where it's like, I know it was my fault, but he didn't do his job. I'm not saying he didn't do his job, but I was expecting him to get this assignment completed. Threw my timing off. That's why I didn't get it in on time. Yeah. That's exactly what he said about Ayuk. He said I was expecting him to go further into the route to continue. So I was anticipating, but he stopped and the first time Jimmy says it, he completely blames Ayuk. He said it's because he did not continue. Right. Then he backtracks when he repeats the story and he says, Brandon Ayuk thought he was supposed to stop. I thought he was supposed to continue.
Yeah.
We weren't on the same page. And that's why
trying to take the blame out of it, but really you already blamed him. And one thing real quick, he blames Ayuk all the time. The week before when Deebo Samuel had that throw to Ayuk in the end zone for the would-be touchdown and the Niners won and everyone was yucking it up afterward, I asked, Jimmy, I said, what was your coaching point for Debo on that incompletion? He said, actually, I thought Ayuk should have helped him out on that one with a straight face. So
I didn't.
There is something between those two, man. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, maybe Jimmy just likes seeing other people fail in the passing game, because that's usually what he does. So.
I just wonder if like Ayuk ever called out Jimmy Garoppolo at any point this offseason, and Jimmy, they're kind of like pointing the finger at each other. Like,
if I was Brandon Ayuk, I mean, you're in a position, if you call him out, he might scan your read and move on.
Well, is that not what happened the first half of the season?
Yeah, well, some people think that Shanahan had him in the doghouse. Some people think Brandon Ayuk wasn't playing hard enough.
Maybe Jimmy had him in the doghouse.
Yeah,
Jimmy's the one with the ball. I mean, I saw a lot of times early in the year where Kyle would call a shot play for Ayuk and the ball wouldn't go to him.
Right, absolutely. But again, Kyle Shanahan is such an autocrat that I don't think that Jimmy always makes the decisions himself. I think he's got some heavy coaching in his ear as far as this is where you will go, because Jimmy's not good enough to go through his reads. He's going through his reads as a matter of decoy. He's doing what Shanahan tells him to do most of the time, I fear.